Hey everybody, I'm Seafood Bodhi. Today we're talking dietary sugar. And if you haven't already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Now, the food we eat provides us with the building blocks to build us, to build our bones, to build our muscles, to build our hair and our teeth. And there are certain things that we need to take in because we just don't make them. These would be four. These would be essential fatty acids, fats, essential amino acids, proteins, essential vitamins, and essential minerals. Now, there is no such thing as essential carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are something we can eat, but they're not something we actually need to eat. So what we want to look at, and I'm not here to bash sugar at all, but I want you to understand the effect that eating sugars have on your body and have on wellness and illness. But first of all, we want to talk about what we actually do need to eat. And so the most important thing we actually need to take in is fat, because every cell in our body is made from fat. The wall of every cell is made from fat. Our brain is 70% fat. The myelin sheath is 100% fat. This is all cholesterol. And this is super, super important. And when we're getting enough protein and enough fat in our diet, we actually work very, very well. But to get enough protein, we need to eat some animals. So it could be red meat, it could be like steak or lamb, it could be things like chicken or turkey, any kind of fowl, it could be fish, it could be eggs. These are all great sources of protein. But what's a lot of people don't realize is that all animal sources of protein are actually a whole bunch of fat and a little bit of protein. Red meat, for example, is almost 80% fat. Fish, by and large, is about 70% fat. And chicken and fowl is actually almost 60% fat, and that's with taking the skin off. So it's a whole bunch of fat and a little bit of protein. And so when we get our 4 fistfuls of animal protein, we're actually eating a high fat diet, or a high proportion of our diet is actually coming from fat. And that being the case, these are things we can't live without. We need these things. These are essential. And all our vitamins, all our minerals, and our fats and proteins we actually can get from our animal sources. Now, once again, as I said, we can eat plants, but we got to be cognizant of the fact is that plants, cellulose, plant sugar, doesn't matter what form it comes in, and whether we're talking glucose or sucrose or fructose, it's all reacts the same way in the body. It's all broken down into simple sugars, into glucose in the body. So it all has the same effect. And so what I want you to understand today is actually how much sugar you're taking in, and maybe it can let you understand why you're having trouble losing weight, why you're having trouble with your sleep, why you're getting sick so often. Because a high amount of sugar and a high amount of fat create illness in the body. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at all the major healthy. Now, we're not talking about processed food. We're not talking about candies and chocolates and all the stuff that everybody knows is unhealthy. It's still lovely to eat. You gotta have it once in a while. That's totally okay. But I want to look at the things that people think and we're told are healthy. But you have to remember that everything in front of us here, this is all sugar. It just matters how much. Now we're going to start on the far right. So vegetables, any kind of leafy vegetable. You're talking broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, lettuce, whatever it is. If we were thinking about a cup of vegetables, how many teaspoons of sugar do you think make up a cup of veggies? Take a guess. All right. So 1 cup of veggies is a perfect teaspoon of sugar. Not so bad. Let's move to bread. And we're talking about 1 slice of bread. How much sugar do you think is in 1 slice of bread? Once again, carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is sugar. In 1 slice of bread, 1, 2, 3, 4 on average. It's a lot of sugar. Let's go to our fruit. And of course, once again, fruit is healthy to eat. It's necessary to eat. It's something that we can metabolize. But on an average piece of fruit, like an average apple or an average banana or a cup of any kind of berry, strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, blueberries, how many teaspoons of sugar would you think are in this? Take a guess. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a quarter. That's how much sugar is in your average apple, your average banana, or your average cup of berries that you're mixing into your yogurt in the morning. Let's keep moving on. Seeds, nuts, basically about the same. Once again, we look at these as healthy. We look at these as source of protein. Now, this is actually a very minimal source of protein, not very bioavailable, but it is actually, once again, made from plant materials, so it is made from cellulose, made from sugar. How much sugar? Take a guess. And this is, we're talking any kind of nuts or seeds. It's all about the same average. So, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. That's your cup of seeds, your cup of nuts. And once again, getting to just eating just a cup in a day, really, really hard. You get a couple handfuls and it can keep going and going and going and going. It is a lot of sugar. Let's keep moving on down. Now, let's start with the starches. We eat a lot of starches. And one people go, oh, it's not sugar, it's starch. Well, starch just is chains of sugar. And whether it's potato or sweet potato, whether it's quinoa, whether it's beans and any kind of bean, whether it's pasta, and we're talking a cup of any of these guys, a cup of any of these guys, what do you think? Take a guess. All right, let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 cup of any of these starches that we eat is 10 teaspoons of sugar. Now, once again, yes, people work out and can be healthy and can be lean and can look great and whatnot. But remember is that you have to burn through that sugar before your body ever touches fat. If you want to burn some fat, you want to lean down, you got to burn through all this sugar first because it's way easier to burn the sugar. Our natural state is to be in a ketogenic state where our body's running on fat, and occasionally we grab a little piece of sugar off the trail, we grab an apple, we grab some honey. But the reality is that most of the time we should be running on our own body fat. It's way cleaner. So when we eat this stuff, yeah, our body's going to go, wow, this is so simple. Let's burn this first. So you got to burn through a lot of teaspoons of sugar when you work out before you even touch fat. Now, moving on. You might see this one. This is one of my wife's favorite, mango. My wife's from South Africa and she loves the mango. And once again, mangoes typically are a little bit larger and they are very, very sweet. So once again, take a guess. How many teaspoons in 1 mango? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same as the starches. 10 teaspoons of sugar in just eating 1 mango for a snack. That's a lot of extra time you're going to spend doing cardio. Now, if you can believe it, I'm almost run out of sugar from this huge container, and all we've eaten is the healthy stuff. And we think every day, no problem, I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy, I don't know why I'm losing weight, or I'm not losing weight. I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy. I don't know why I feel tired in the afternoon. I don't know why I have inflammation in my joints. I don't know why I have trouble sleeping. All of this sugar combined with the fat that we need to take in from the animal sources to get our protein Causes a really unhappy metabolic reaction in the body. Now we got 2 guys left. So I'm going to empty out some of this sugar because we're literally running low on sugar here. We're going to take 2 of these guys because now we're up to rice. Rice, once again, staple of any healthy diet, staple of diets around the world. Once again, it's pure carbohydrates. So what are we going to do when it comes to rice? Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. That's the sugar you're eating when you have your little cup of rice. Now, when you think about your plate, how is it a cup, a little tiny cup of rice on your plate, or is it half the plate is rice? We got one last one to go, and we saved the best for last because everyone seems to love these oats. Oats, oats, oats. I don't know where people figure out that these were healthy. These are not something to be eaten. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get lots of hate for that. This is a poly-chain saccharide, multiple chain sugar. That is just huge amounts of sugar. Now, let's see if I actually have enough left here. 1 cup of oats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's steal some from over here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Still going. 11, 12, 13, and 3/4. That is the amount of sugar you're eating when you're eating those oh so healthy overnight oats. Now, once again, I did not want to do this video to bash sugar, but what I do want you to be cognizant of is how much sugar is lurking in the so-called healthy foods we eat. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is no daily minimum for carbohydrate. There's no such thing as essential carbohydrate. We can eat this stuff. Yes, we can. But realize when you're trying to get leaner, you have to burn through all this sugar first. But even more importantly, it's not just about being lean. What's important is that we need to take in a huge amount of fatty acids and protein to get all the building blocks to rebuild our body. And when we do that, we're eating a lot of fat. And when we eat a lot of fat, putting a whole bunch of sugar on top of that fat is going to spike our insulin, cause our body to store, and this is where metabolic disease, the etiology, the root cause of that metabolic disease is too much sugar combined with too much fat and too many calories. This all sets up a terrible environment to keep the body healthy and functioning well. So I want you to be mindful when you're eating. And yes, I'm not saying don't ever eat this stuff, but I'm saying understand that when you do eat this stuff, it has an effect. It has a toll. And if you look through your day and see what you're eating in a day, maybe take a tally and just see how much sugar you're eating. When you're saying, oh, well, I don't eat candy, I don't eat chocolate, I don't drink pop, but maybe you're still getting tons and tons of grams of sugar that's stopping you from being healthy. Think about it. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. Once again, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.